So let me just get this police body cam on real quick, and then justice will be served.
Start video recording.
What the frick? What the heck? What the heck? Okay. So
I haven't even had my coffee yet. Can't go on without my coffee.
okay, so
What the heck, Mom? I haven't had my coffee yet.
okay. Let me know when you're ready. We can start this thing. We're gonna make it a star, baby. We're gonna make it a star. You can, if you want. Hey, if you want, you can put that book underneath there. That way,
What?
it's pointing more up. Cause look, we don't got a ton of headroom.
What is?
Yeah. That's right. Get loosened up, get silly before the pod.
Yeah.
Today we're just gonna do a silly pod.
Ah!
Today's pod.
Almost fell.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna take this junk off the screen. Okay. Well, this camera might die, and like,
That's okay.
but good thing we got this one and this one,
Yeah.
and good thing that freaking Mark Wahlberg put a camera in all of our pockets. Isn't that right? That's just great that Mark Wahlberg. That's exactly what we needed as a society. Everyone needs a computer and a camera in their pocket at all times. That's great. Thanks, Jeff Bezos. Thanks, Elon Musk.
Hey, once that one dies, we can just switch it out for the Nikon. Okay, so, rein it in.
I'm good.
No, yeah, we're just gonna do a silly pod today. Let me respond to one more message from.
Holy bloody hell!
Okay, so this is the actual official start. Hey guys, welcome to the Park Score podcast. We are on episode 999 with
Number 9.
number
Number
9
9.
with
Number 9.
with-
Beatles reference.
with a special guest, my brother Cason.
Hello.
If you have followed me for any amount of time, you already know who Cason is. There's no need for an introduction. And in fact, today, if you didn't know anything about Cason, you're going to find out a lot about him today. Because in this episode, we're doing something kind of special.
Yeah, we're going to break down the history of GBM, the evolution of GBM as a concept.
Yeah, as an idea. So, okay, GBM. Oh, wait, real quick, before we start the podcast. I was going to say, so I have one stipulation for the pod. No cussing. No cussing on the pod. And if you do utter a cuss word, if either one of us utters a cuss word during the pod, you got to get down, you got to do 10 push-ups.
All right.
Okay? Okay?
All right, that's easy. Well, I might just cuss just to get my work in for all.
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. Okay, so, like, we on the drive over here, we wrote down a list of, just stuff that we, how can I introduce this?
Kind of the, like, significant events in the history within GBM.
Yes, and our working together. So anyone who doesn't know, Gore Brothers Media, GBM, that is an LLC. Me and my brother started. We started our own video marketing company after years and years of making videos together. And man, it has just like evolved into.
Yeah, it's kind of just become like an umbrella term of like our own like extended universe.
Right. So first thing on this list is I started YouTube in 2012. I was 12 years old.
Well, okay. So let's introduce this by like sowing the seeds of GBM. So for like artistically, GBM wise, whatever. Who do you like kind of take inspiration from, or like early on, who did you really take inspiration from?
Smosh.
Balloon Shop.
Balloon Shop.
I'll see you later.
God dang it! I am so mad right now! God, I've never been this mad! I've never been this mad before! Where is my boy? Where is my boy?
Oh yeah, Balloon Shop's super underrated.
Bro, if anyone out there watching right now recognizes Balloon Shop, that is like I don't know.
That's some OG YouTube
No,
stuff.
that
I
is
remember
like OG.
our babysitter
Yeah.
was like, what did we show her? We showed her some like Charlie the unicorn or
thing.
something,
Yeah.
and she was like, oh no,
She's
let me
like,
put
no, no.
put y'all on real quick. She was older. She's probably like millennial, so she was like tapped into the balloon
early
shop.
internet,
Yeah. And balloon shop was super dope because it was just some friends with a camera, like not any crazy production or nothing. And the concept themselves were kind of just like.
I remember like
Sketches of sketches.
One video that like one of the funniest ones, my favorite one, is just like hot pepper, and
Right.
they're like telling their friend like, man, you probably shouldn't eat that pepper. It looks like really spicy, and he's just like, and then he just eats it, and he's like sweating, and they're like throwing tomatoes at him and just making fun of him, and it's so dumb.
Oh, this is like a local arsonist has just decided lighting a fire in my throat. And the fire department is not on duty. Hey man, I don't know if this is gonna help, but why don't you just go ahead and... this is a desert fire now!
But it's just like, it's like the perfect thing, the most innocent
Yeah, it's just like innocent
genuine.
fun, and it's like you could feel the fun through the screen. You
Yeah.
could feel how much fun they were having making it, and so of course, what do? We were like, oh yeah, we're gonna like do our own like version
Right.
of that. And so then what we did is we would literally, I had like a little iPhone, I could shoot videos. I would edit everything in iMovie, and we would just literally like come up with ideas. One of them was Bat Cribs, where I played Batman and he played Robin.
This is where I take my bat dumps.
This is a bat shower. This is a bat dog. Put it on, bat dog.
And we did like an episode of Cribs, but it was Batman. Or like there was one called Life of Pi, or Life of Cake. We had seen
yeah.
Life of Pi, and so we're like, okay, we're gonna lampoon this.
We got some cattle, horses. We even got a few humans.
Where did our cattle go?
Sometimes acts up.
Hey, get back! Get back!
I'm sorry, sometimes act.
Oh, get.
Sometimes acts up, so. Got it.
Ah, frick, we're good.
It was funny because we would just lampoon a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
but it was like these weird.
Well, like
blends.
a lot of our I will applaud like younger us because like a lot of our concepts were like relatively funny. Like
Oh, yeah,
the
yeah.
Batman doing a Cribs episode is like that's funny.
Yeah, like no, I was gonna say, like those earliest videos on my channel from whenever I was in like middle school and stuff, those are legitimately some of my like most highly viewed episodes. Like if you go and look right now, they're all private. They're all private, but they like consistently beat out all my newer stuff because like my newer stuff is like niche and I'm like an adult and people are like, yeah, this isn't cute anymore. But back then, like they actually did fairly well. And then I remember like one of my earliest core memories was that, my friend in school, he came up to me and was like asking, because I had a hoodie made of my YouTube channel name, and a friend came up to me and was like, oh, like, can I buy one of those? And I was like, wow, this is actually crazy. But so, yeah, and then from there, I mean, we kind of did that for a while, and then you hit this point where you're like, oh, this is cringy. This is cringy to have these out, because you start going through puberty,
Yeah.
and you're like, yeah, like you don't think of yourself as cute anymore, and you're trying to distance yourself from that young, like innocent image. So then you're like, oh yeah, let me like switch up my vibe, and so then we stopped doing like little YouTube skits and stuff, and then I remember the next thing I have on this list is gallon milk challenge Instagram live. So I remember years later, I think probably in high school or something, we convinced Cason, and then later my friend Dylan.
No, well, Dylan did it first, and then it became like a. Then I was like, okay, I gotta beat his record,
Right.
his like time.
And so yeah, the gallon milk challenge, for anyone that doesn't know, you drink a gallon of milk in less than an hour and you're not supposed to throw up. The catch is that you will always throw up. It is impossible not to
It's
throw up.
physically impossible not to throw up.
The human stomach is only half a gallon large. So, and it's so funny because every time you watch somebody do this challenge, they'll get all the way down to the half mark and then they just hit a wall every time. Also, you can only process so much lactose at a given moment. And so you hit that halfway point and then you literally become lactose intolerant for like the rest of that like couple hours while you're digesting that. And so then, yeah, you puke ferociously. And we had like a big party bowl, and he filled up the whole bowl, him and Cason both. And and then I don't know if you remember,
It's literally puking from overconsumption. 'Cause your body is just like, I remember doing it and going like, oh my, I've got to throw up so I can feel better. And it was like I would drink a quarter, a quarter of it, and be like, oh my god, I feel terrible. And I hit that halfway mark, and I throw up, like, all right, I got this, I'm good. And then you start drinking again, and you're like, oh my god, I feel terrible again. And then like once you kind of get towards the end, you throw up again, and you feel better, and it's like a new life.
So I remember whenever we were either recording yours or Dylan's, one of our high school football coaches joined my my Instagram live and was watching this. I was probably like freaking like 15, probably couldn't even drive yet. But anyways, so there was that, and then after a time, and then I forget to mention, we'll do this one real quick. My other buddy was like, I won't do a gallon of milk, but I'll drink sweet tea. And so he tried to do, and then he didn't even get like a quarter of it. And then our other friend was like, oh yeah, I can finish the rest of that gallon. And we're like, well, that's kind of cheating, because like he already finished most of it for you. So then we were like, okay, well, our parents have this tequila in the cabinet, so like we'll just fill the rest of it up with that. Yeah, our buddy was projectile vomiting. I'll see if I can try to find that photo. I don't think
violent.
Yeah,
like it's like
projectile, like
forceful.
I could hit that freaking lens over there. And we were laughing, and we were recording him. This is also a video that's been lost. But he got angry that we were laughing and recording him, so then he started aiming at us. Anyways, real classy stuff from the get.
All the same concept of just entertaining people.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and ourselves. And then we got. And I'll just throw this up real quick. There's a video where we made our friends pass out.
Oh shit.
Jesus.
And then we got in trouble from our football coach for that again, and then had to like run laps and stuff. Like I said, I'll just throw that up real quick. But then, we matured a little bit. I went off to college. Me and Cason were split up for a time, because I'm off in college. He's still in Tarkington, and I started doing these this little series of vlogs. These are the OG Park Score vlogs. And I remember at the time my YouTube channel was called The Gore, and I remember there was this guy named Cole, and every time he would see me, because he was like familiar with the vlogs and stuff, he would be like, The Gore. And we would just we would film us partying and stuff. Once again, I can also point to another time in one of those vlogs where somebody violently pukes, but this time it's after doing. I'll go find that as well.
If you got like
There's
if
a
you
pattern.
Well, I didn't realize how
Me
much.
neither.
We're just
It's everywhere.
It's hilarious to us.
And we'll
It's just
get
throwing up.
we'll get later on in this episode, we might get around to explaining the phenomenology of puke, and why we love it so much.
darn funny.
It's hilarious. It really is so hilarious. But anyways, those OG vlogs, I got a little bit of notice for those, mostly just around friends and stuff. And to this day, the first episode of that vlog, which I don't want to say the name to. Well, I mean, I probably should. I'm not proud of this vlog thing anymore. But at the time, I was like, oh, they have these performance pills. We'll call
We've
them
all
that.
seen them.
At the gas station. And I was like,
They're
what?
they're front counter.
I was like, what if I took one? And then I got deathly ill. But to this day, it's one of my most highly viewed videos, and it is private. Won't be unprivating that, but I might show a little snippet from it here. And then I was still in college, but I wasn't into film and all that. I was a public relations major. And then I remember somebody had seen one of my vlogs and was like, Parks, do you ever expect to get a job someday with the stuff you post on social media? I swear to you, this was a real conversation that somebody had with me, and I was like, man, what if they're right? and but I transitioned into like a film major. So I was like, that seems easy, and literally that was like the full thought process. And so then I went from public relations to film, and then I had to start doing some student films.
projects.
And at this point in time, Cason had joined me in college. Cason was now in college with me. And so we did, we also met our good buddy Eric, who we do a ton of projects with now. And he was living with Cason, and he was also
very into film.
Very into film, more than either one of us. And so we did some films with him. We did this one little number called Priorities.
What's up, dude? Go, 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 go. Fucking bad. All right, go on, close door. Go, 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 go.
And if you haven't seen Priorities, which you probably haven't, guaranteed you haven't, it was about a blind kid who played by Cason, and Eric playing this guy named Caesar, who's like a Mexican exchange student, and they're both alienated, but then they join this fraternity to get like popular, but then they figure out that the fraternity has like a dark underbelly to it. And the film was obviously very poorly made, but my teacher liked the script. She thought that it had a unique kind of a twist, and even though she thought that I did not portray blind people all that well,
I was there was a scene where I'm playing basketball.
Yeah.
And
he was blind in the scenes where it could be played off as a joke, or it could be like,
I get hit in the face with a football.
he gets hit in the face with a football, but then in other scenes he is playing beer pong and is just acing shots. So, we made some more student films. There was one where we did like a There's one where we did like a god awful soundtrack, or I did a god awful soundtrack, and
For what?
it was this. I was supposed to do a noir film, and it was it was Eric's script, and like I shot it, and it was for my cinematography class, and I did this like that was right as soon as I got into like lightning bolt and like noise music and stuff, and so then I did this track. Yeah.
Okay.
It was Eric's script was that there was this kid, and he goes to a laundromat, and he sets his bag down, and the bag gets switcherooed, and then he ends up taking the wrong bag. It's called the wrong one. And then he goes home, and then he gets followed, and then these people show up at his door. All of a sudden, cut to him getting attacked inside of a warehouse or something.
Some industrial building.
And I'll throw up something from that
I actually
here.
like that one.
Okay, that one was the beginning of like some charm.
Yeah.
There was some charm to it. I was starting to figure things out cinematographically. I was starting to kind of like ease into like my style a little bit.
You were getting in your bag.
I was getting in my bag, and but from there, there's more student films, but we kind of was like, let's start doing our own stuff, and this is when we get into our first ever podcast that we did together, because at that age we're 19 and 20, obviously everyone wants to hear what we have to say about.
Yeah. And we were like so funny.
So funny.
I mean, still am today, but
so well read, so learned, so experienced in the ways of the world.
We had plenty of experience on air, keeping audience attention.
Right, no dead air, and also all of our takes on like current events and stuff were, they were breaking. They were
very well thought out.
Yeah, and
well researched.
Yeah, and just really insightful and unprecedented. And so what do we call this venture? It's our podcast. We're the Gore Brothers. So maybe we call it the Gore podcast, or we're coming together to do this thing together in the same place.
The pork. No,
the
Gore.
Gore is too long. We cut it down to like the G
cast.
Something. G place. G area. Well, the G spot. Yeah, we named. Yeah, very classy. I know. That's what we named. That's what we named our first podcast. And sure enough, yeah, it was just us talking about current events. I remember we talked about Kanye West a lot on there.
I remember there was an episode we did about Godzilla versus King Kong, and I actually really enjoyed that episode. It was
Okay,
kind of funny.
there was probably like a handful of gems.
There
in
was also a bit where we did a fake ad read for Gorilla Piss Arms.
To be honest, it's so funny like looking back on certain stuff, what like you or Eric or Lance think is funny, and then there's some stuff that y'all think is like so funny, and it'll be like some stuff that I say, and I'm like, yeah, no, that bit that I did, it wasn't it, but they'll think it was hilarious. Like that one in particular, when I think back on that one, I'm like, I didn't think that. I know that I did it, but
there was like a recurring bit where Parks would give this like really long, thought out like sports take.
Oh yeah.
Written by me.
So all of my friends know that I like wouldn't do like or know anything about sports. Like I was just completely like tone deaf and completely ignorant when it came to all that stuff, and would express my lack of concern for anything that having to do with sports. But some of our friends would listen to the podcast. I mean, we got like, you know, roughly probably like 50 or so viewers per episode, and sure enough, like Cason was like, hey, it'd be really hilarious if I wrote you this like long like esoteric sports
The
take.
funniest thing too is like a lot of like the like terms like like a lot of the sports terms would like fly over your head, so you would just like mispronounce it. And I would just be there dying and laugh.
And then Cason would just like reply afterwards, and because Cason, everyone knows that Cason's like big into sports, and like he's like all about it, and he would just reply and be like, man, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, or oh wow, interesting that you think that way. And no, that was like a really good bit actually. And we did a lot of episodes for that. I remember at one point in time somebody was like, oh, you guys are actually doing that. It's not just like and I was like,
I remember the first episode too. It was like 2 hours long, right? And I sat there for like a week and cut out so much dead space and so many bad jokes. And I edited our podcast heavily and like just cut in the best moments. And yeah, I don't know. I was just like thinking about it now. Just like, I don't know. It's so like unlike our style now, at least with like podcasts now, where it's like there was also no video. It was only audio.
Yeah. Well, and the audio recorders that we use, it wasn't like these microphones right here. It was legitimately like, what would we record it on?
I remember the first episode we used, we set a laptop in my bathroom, and I sat on the toilet. I think Park sat on. I think somebody sat on the sink or something, and then somebody sat on the bathtub.
Yeah.
And we just set the computer in the middle, and we just hit play on GarageBand.
Yeah, and now we got 3 cameras, we got an audio interface, we got these mics, we got headphones to test our levels, we got freaking lights and all that. It's like, so I mean, it's just funny, like the whole reason that we wanted to do what we're doing today is because it really is funny, like when you look back on what you've been doing for the past however many years, and you're like, oh yeah, like this was the seed of something to come. But anyway, so those were all privated because once again, it's like impossible not to say something completely idiotic when you're 20 years old and you're talking on current issues, and you also are just trying to fill dead air, and also you like.
Well, and also like our favorite podcasts were like Joe Rogan. We're like, oh, Joe Rogan says whatever he wants, so I'm gonna say that too.
Right, because that's an apt comparison, right? Because Joe Rogan has the ability to speak on whatever issue he wants, then surely we also have that ability, right? And yeah, no. But anyways, so we're like, then we started getting serious. We're like, you know what? We're filmmakers. You know what? We're going to make a film. We're going to make a real... We saw the movie Uncut Gems, and our parents were like, I didn't get that. And me and Cason were like, no. We were like, this is
a masterpiece.
It. Yeah, this is what's next. And so
it is a great movie.
It's a great movie, to this day. But so me and Cason were like, oh yeah, Safdie brothers, they're brothers. They made an awesome movie that was high stakes and like kept you on the edge of your seat the whole time. We're going to do the same thing. And so what did we do? We made the equivalent of a Seth Rogen comedy.
Well, it was like Safdie brothers, and then like we were trying to be Safdie brothers with all the suspense, but then it was like kind of Coen brothers with like the like really dumb and like
the mumblecore dialogue.
Yeah.
Okay, so we enlisted like 9 or like we honestly got like 12.
No, okay.
Anywhere.
We went on campus with flyers and we handed out flyers, and I remember our pitch was, do you want to be in a movie? And we would hand people the flyers, and then we went to the theater building, handed those out. We went into like a bunch of different like film buildings and handed those out. And I remember maybe 3 people reached out, and then it fell through with 2 of them. And the last one was this girl, and she was like, oh yeah, I'm interested in being in the movie. Like just send over the script, blah blah blah. We sent over the script, and she's like, okay, when should I show up to like shoot? And we were like, show up to this house at 9 p.m.
Yeah. And so
and she was like, I think I'm gonna pass.
Okay, so we got like all of our friends involved. The location, we're like, okay, we're gonna shoot in one location. Okay, it's gonna be about a drug dealer who is in over his head, and he has people coming in and out of his apartment, and some of them are crack addicts, some of them are actual real customers. One of them is his angry ex-girlfriend.
One of them is his like another.
Like
who
his
was Push?
Like his heavy. No,
Yeah.
not his heavy. Push was like the distributor that was above him that was like putting pressure on him.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to have this drug dealer be like a sympathetic character, and we wanted there to be pressure coming from every angle. So like first it started out like, okay, his roommate is mad at him because there's this other guy who's been loitering in their apartment forever.
The Stone.
That's the Stone. Dude, why the is he here? Stone? Oh, that's the Stone.
Oh, it's the Stone?
Yeah, Stone's one of the coolest guys I know.
This Stone is.
He's one of the coolest guys I know. He's been coming around here for
I don't give a
Bro,
I've been here before. It's a random ass motherfucker. I walk in here, I don't know who the is on my couch.
Dude.
You know why I come here.
Look how cool his shirt is.
You met me before.
Stone's sick.
I've never met this dude.
Stone's sick.
Man, I'm chill. I'm not gonna like anything up. Well, I'm leaving. You better not be here when I get back, okay? I mean, I'll leave. Just don't come back until 10 o'clock.
Yeah, his name was the Stone. You could probably guess what kind of character this was. And my good friend Hunter was very gracious to drive an hour and a half to come shoot this at night, and then also for no pay. We're not paying anyone for any of this stuff. This was like, at this point in time, it was literally like, you might get pizza if you show up. You might. And we're going to just waste all your time. And anyways, that was like, I remember, and we'll show some clips from it right here. I remember that experience of trying to make a movie, trying to make a serious movie, being like a straight up like ego death. Like I remember that straight up being like, holy crap, I am so far from being able to like make anything serious, make anything worth watching. And I was like, because like we knew nothing about lighting, we knew nothing about continuity, we knew nothing about the like 180 rule and like making sure the freaking audience knows what's going on. We knew nothing about sound. We knew nothing about freaking
the sound,
managing the
like,
set.
I'm thinking about it right now. How did we do sound? Sound was
Dude,
the sound
there was
legit,
no
like,
sound. There was no
off
sound.
The camera?
Everything was just purely off the camera. Everything, every single bit. But lo and behold, it actually turned out to be hilarious.
Yeah, it is pretty funny.
For all the things that it did not have going for it, it was funny. Like it had some just laugh out loud hilarious lines, and I would find myself continually referring back to this, and we called it. It was a mix between The Happening, ooh, something spooky, and getting clapped. Like oh, you just got clapped. And so we're like, okay, what are we gonna call this? This is the clapping. And you know, I posted it on YouTube, and the first 20 seconds of it was nothing but just black space, dead air space, and I was like, man, I can't do anything right. And so, but like I said, it was funny. And so we're like, okay, we're gonna keep it. And then we're like, you know what? Let's get back to our roots. Let's start shooting because our buddy Eric, he got this really, really fancy camera. He bought out. He went and got a Z-Cam cinema camera, and we're like, yo, let's
4K.
shoot. Let's shoot something like so dope with this. Let's shoot a YouTube video. And so we had been watching what's that series?
Mimo, What's in My Bag?
Yeah, what's in my bag, with the musicians and stuff, where they go and they get like records. We were collecting records. I had been a musician for like a while, and so I was like, oh yeah, let's go shoot one of those. And so we pulled up to some spots, and we were like shooting a video where we would go and we would buy records, and it was a straight 1-for-1 rip of What's in My Bag.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
It was under the G-Spot branch.
It was
creatively titled the G-Spot Finds.
Right. And but so we shot it and we went to edit it, and it almost completely killed my Mac because the Mac was not ready to take that size of footage. And so we're like,
we didn't have enough dedicated WAM.
Yeah, we didn't have enough dedicated WAM. And so we're like, okay, we can't edit this. We can't do anything with this footage. It's probably sitting somewhere. I would love to actually find that. So if we can find some of that, I'll throw that up as well. But at this point, we're like, you know what? Damn it. I'm about to graduate college here. Okay? I'm about to graduate college here. And I got to get serious, right? I got to get serious. So then I went out and I was like, I bought almost the same exact camera. So I was like, I'm about to start shooting some stuff. I'm about to start getting real. All I got to do is buy a really expensive camera, and then everything else is just going to fall into place. And I'm going to get an LLC, which took me like freaking 3 months, because when you're a goober and you're starting out, you're like, oh yeah, this thing that should take me 3 days, I'm going to stretch it out over the course of 3 months. And so, but we finally got an LLC, Gore Brothers Media, and I was like, all right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to do a video marketing agency, because, you know, I had shot a couple videos here and there for people, and I was like, if we position ourselves as an agency, if we kind of take ourselves serious, then other people will be forced to take us serious. And we didn't get any work for a little while because we didn't have really anything to show for anything. And then we got this offer to shoot a free video for like oh wait, I'm skipping ahead a little bit. So before we went and bought the fancy Z-Cam camera, we only had like a Nikon, and we went
Nikon and a Canon DSLR.
Yeah, Nikon and a Canon DSLR, and we went out and we shot a video titled "Sex War."
Since the dawn of time, men and women have struggled to see eye to eye. As gender roles have shifted, one truth remains constant: love is a battlefield. This is Sex War.
And what was Sex War?
Well, like our whole idea was like, we're gonna do like kind of a mature take on like the like social experiments, like a mature take on like the like what's the freakiest thing you ever done,
right?
Where it's like we were trying to like really get down to the root of like these like kind of like differences between like men and women and their views on relationships.
So right, so at this point in time, the dating like culture war, gender warfare thing was like really like popping off. People like Andrew Tate were like popping up and stuff like on social media, or like even like anti-male, like female dating people. Like that was just a really hot topic, sort of hot button thing. And we're like, this is really stupid, because it's men polarizing like against women, and then women polarizing against men. Definitely, it's like more nuanced than that. We would love to get out on the street, do some man on the street type stuff, which was terrifying to start out with.
Oh, bro.
And then not only that, but it was a hot button issue.
Yeah.
But we're like, we're going to bring some real value to this, because we're essentially, we're like sticking our neck out, and we're having like a sort of a differentiated take. But we're going to name it something controversial like Sex War, because like War of the Sexes. but then make it sound really intense, right?
The intro was actually pretty
intro
dope.
was so dope. I'll throw
The
that up
intro was
here.
dope.
I'll throw that up here. But the intro was super cool, and sure enough, we got out, and we went out and we asked people.
I remember my first interview. I was like about to like there was doo-doo dribbling down my leg. I was like,
dude.
I was like, oh god, I gotta ask this guy what's up with the relationship,
bro. And like those were the trenches to begin.
Deep.
Those were the trenches, and it was like you'd have to work yourself up, and because we're walking on a college campus because we're like, okay, this is our demographic. These are going to be people who have strong opinions about this. They're not going to so much be worried about being on social media. It'll look good for the video. And we asked people like, does body count matter? Because it's not, our whole thing was we didn't want to put our opinion on anything. We kind of just wanted to like report. That was our whole thing. We wanted to be super transparent and just kind of let ourselves be a conduit for whatever the zeitgeist was.
Does body count matter? What else? Is it okay if your partner has an OnlyFans?
Right, because OnlyFans and all that stuff was also like big then.
What's the meaning? Or like, what's the meaning of true love? Or how do you find true love?
Yeah, something to that effect. It was like, what is true love or something?
Yeah.
And it was kind of interesting. Like I actually thought it was a good video. It got like a decent reception, but then we did a sequel to it, shot the same day, and it was more comedy centered. We just, you can't help but go back to your roots, and so for this one it was Lance. I was just talking to Dylan about this video today. So we had our buddy Lance, and we were like saying, okay, this is a social experiment. We're gonna see how much like fashion
drip,
or like your style plays into your desirability. And so
we went to Goodwill, and we found
the most atrocious,
this terrible
fit.
Like Nike dry fit like polo that was a little bit too big for him
and wrinkly, and some plaid shorts that did not match,
cargo shorts
that were down to his shins, the middle of his shins, and then some long tube socks, and then some like dorky shoes, and we're like, we just want to make him
he bought
look.
the shoes. Those were his shoes.
All right, my bad. My bad. Damn, my bad. But so
I didn't think that the shoes were bad, Lance.
Well, I was trying to sell the bit.
Yeah, no.
Now that I'm thinking about it again, they're so
well.
Cool.
What's funny is some girl did make a comment
about his shoes
where she said,
and his haircut.
She said, the two things we didn't choose.
Right. No. So we that was so. What I found with that part of the video was it was so much easier to do that video and so much more fun because the pressure was 100% on him.
Because instead of walking to somebody and be like, hey, what's up with this controversial topic? You go, hey, look at this dork.
Yeah. So it was way easier, way more fun, way more hilarious. And and
okay, but like
we got to talk about Lance's performance. Wait, but go.
Okay, the whole bit of the thing was like, okay, we walk around, we're like, we got him in this dorky outfit, and we're like, yeah, what's up, like, what should he do? He his girlfriend broke up with him, and Lance, the improv genius, kept on like referring to this bit of his girlfriend dreaming that he cheated on him in real life.
I had a dream about cheating on my girlfriend, and then she ran me over with her car.
So then she went and cheated, dreaming that he cheated on her. So then she went and cheated on him in real life. And it was around Valentine's Day too. So we were like, yeah, we're trying to get his confidence up. We're trying to get him, trying to get him to socialize with some ladies, blah, blah, blah. And then they were like, the thing was like, draw out of these people that like, okay, he needs to change his outfit. Okay, which is very easy. And so then we were like, all right, wardrobe change. This is the second part of the video.
So
and please put them on like.
Okay,
I think
here's
the
the montage.
YouTube video is private.
Yeah, no,
Wait,
we're good.
play the montage.
Here's the montage.
I got you. You thought I didn't see you now, did you? You tried to sneak by me now, did you? Now give me what you promised me. Give it here. Good God. You promised me the day that you quit your boyfriend.
Okay, so that was freaking
so
hilarious.
The YouTube video is private, but like that montage is like, that's like worth I don't know. That was like worth the video in and of itself. Like,
yeah,
it's the best part of that video. But we have him in this terrible outfit. Then we put him in this kind of like, it's like, the idea was it's like this dapper outfit, and it's like purple pants.
No. It was hot pink pants, a purple vest, and a light like salmon freaking like long sleeve button up.
And they're all wrinkly.
It's all wrinkly, but he's walking around, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, I mean that's a little better," but. Listen, wait. What was great? Listen, what was great? What was the best part of the whole thing for me though was Lance's improv and Lance's. So Lance, like, if you've ever seen anything that we've done, Lance has such a way of adding this like subtle aspect to whatever character he's playing.
It's never too much.
It's always like it's just chef's kiss every time.
Perfect timing.
So he comes up with this story in his head. So we're like, hey. Our friend, he needs some advice. His girlfriend recently dumped him. Lance, you want to go ahead and like tell her the story? And then Lance would go, yeah, my girlfriend broke up with me because she had a dream that I was cheating on her. And then so she woke up and cheated on me in real life. And there was a bunch of variations of it. Like he said,
she hit me with her car.
Yeah, she hit me with her car. Yeah, and people was taking this seriously, like they really thought he was being for real. And then another one was
no, it was kind of funny because like some people were legit like they were like you could see that look in the eyes and they were like look at Lance and then like look back at us like you're really putting this poor guy through this.
And then there was one where he said this is so I'm gonna play through him. So what he does is he'll set up a character and he will make the character's thought be visible to you in a way, but he's like so subtle. So for this one he goes yeah, my girlfriend dumped me because she had a dream that I was cheating on her, but
she goes did you cheat on her?
No.
Was I cheating on her? No.
No. And then what was the other one? Where he said she shouldn't have had that dream. What does he say?
He's like, I shouldn't have cheated on her. Well, she shouldn't have the dream.
She had a dream that I cheated on her.
Yeah, she had a dream he cheated on her, so she cheated on him in real life.
Oh, man, that sucks.
I shouldn't have had a dream about her.
You,
She should have had a dream about me cheating on her. I shouldn't have done that in her dream.
all right.
Because it's like he's like he's the one that's like racked with guilt.
Yeah, and he's like apologizing, but like figuring out what exactly he did so that he can apologize. Yeah.
Okay, so that video was hilarious, and I was like, "Why is this not viral?" And that began my sort of jadedness, where I was like, "Damn, you can really put your heart and soul into this stuff, and actually it be objectively hilarious." And it just go nowhere. So I was like, okay. Like I was like, all right, let's. I mean, so I really from that point on, I was like, the wheels kind of started turning. And then Cason has this really great idea because he's a sports guy, and so then we do this other video. And it's a little number called
Drunk Duck.
Well, as you see the hair structure, 1, 2 tufts. You feel that? That's Super Saiyan Blue.
That's right. And go ahead and tell us the premise behind Drunk Dunk.
So the kind of idea stemmed from, for the 20th anniversary, we're going to backtrack a little bit. For the 20th episode of the G-Spot, we did in the same vein as the Milk Challenge, a beer mile. Right. Every lap you run, you drink a mile.
You drink a mile. Yeah, drink a mile.
You drink a beer. And our buddy Eric did it, and
Puked.
It was he puked.
But we didn't get 2/3 of his puking on camera.
No.
So it was like kind of almost like a loss for us.
So we were trying to scheme up new ways of having a competition, having people throw up on camera, having it be funny, and so I thought, let's play a game of basketball. I love basketball. I love beer, and I love watching people throw up, especially if I get it on camera. I can post it to my channel. So we bought jerseys. We got a referee. The referee was Lance. We reached out to a bunch of our friends from Sam Houston. Eric Mays, shout out. I don't know if I should say his full government name.
We don't gotta say everybody's full government name, but long story short, we got like how many guys?
We got 8 guys in the whole process.
And that's just people that were playing. Because I was refereeing, or no, I was commentating. Lance was
referee, and then it was a 3-on-3 game. Okay, and it was great. We did like pre-game interviews. We had the whole system set up, so it was a game to 20. Anyways, but every 5 points you had a drink, or your opponent had a drink. So if you score 5 points, your opponent has a drink. Okay.
Hey, come here. Hey, team in. Hurry. Hey, come here. Get over here and drink this.
And there was a halftime. We did little halftime interviews, all this stuff. Oh, we had coaches too.
Right.
Yeah.
We had coaches and but nobody really puked from that either.
No, nobody puked. But after that game, I did that's probably the worst I've ever felt in my life.
But it was a great video, and
very funny video.
People who weren't even like friends with us and stuff or knew us would talk be like, hey, that was like a funny video, blah, blah, blah. And so we're like, okay, that was kind of like a win. And then we can briefly go over you had a period where you were doing some vlogging. You did some vlogging kind of in the same vein. You
did my toes in it.
Yeah.
Did my back. No. Get into my bag.
And then you tried your hand also at shooting a short film.
Yes.
Prowler.
Writing and shooting a short film.
And then something happened. You don't have to talk about it on camera if you don't want to.
Long story short, I was filming the movie, and then within the same night was unable to finish the filming of the movie.
With a full sink full of puke and laying on the floor and
groaning,
face totally pale, throw up on his shirt. So that movie didn't get finished.
And I remember
production was postponed.
Yeah, I remember I had a shot list and everything, and I think I just gave it to Eric, and I was like, Eric, just finish the movie. And then I remember they told me, they were like, yeah, we just couldn't understand what you were trying to convey with these shots. We didn't understand what any of these shots meant, so we just stopped.
And then so we did a video called American Mind Control Experiment, where we kind of went back again.
Well, okay, so it was the same vein of sex war. It was we realized, we were like, okay, maybe sex and gender is a hot topic
but it's limited.
It was limited.
And
you
can only talk about
a
so
little
much.
bit controversial. But we kind of wanted to do our own little sketch comedy show, where we had a how many bits were there?
There was three main ones. So there was us, the man on the street stuff. There was you puking all over yourself, and then there was I feel like there was another one, and then we had those cool transitions with Eric doing the DJ thing. We'll go ahead and throw that up. That was another cool thing that we did. And
can't go a single video without a puke gag.
And man,
bro, we love puke. Bro, we got oatmeal and flour and water and made this mixture and put it on my chest, and then the whole bit was I'm this kind of
party animal.
Yeah, oh yeah, let's party, let's take shots.
Bro, so from the moment you got here, you were scaring the hose off.
What's up? What's up, pussies? Let's go. Take shots. Anybody shots? Let's go, shots. Take some shots. Let's go. Come on, shots. Ready to get fucked up. You're taking shots with me. Come on, yeah. You said you take shots with me, man. You guys take shots? Everybody shots? I got son the shot train. Let's party. No, these. You don't want to drink, man. Come on. No, I'm gonna drink. You guys are fucking pussies. Let's fucking go. Let's go. Someone stop him, my God.
That doesn't sound. It happened.
And then I crash out because I get so drunk and throw up on myself. And so everybody's like, all right, we're going to draw like, you know, gratuitous images on his face. I had Mike Tyson's tattoo and throw up all over my chest.
And so that video, I feel like that video did, you know, fairly well. After that, we shot a short film with our buddy Eric that ended up winning an award at.
Well, okay. So it started as like basically just one scene, right? And we shot the scene, and before we really knew where we wanted to take it.
Well, it was Eric's project primarily.
Right. And then we shot it, and he was like, yeah, I really like this idea, but like I'm not exactly sure which direction to take it. So we kind of all sat down, and that was like one of our.
We all sat down at a diner and finished out a whole script together, where we sat there and we just literally just quizzed Eric on like, okay, where do you want to take this? If you take it this way, it's going to mean this for the character. Yeah. And you know, we kind of forced ourselves to like have this fully fleshed out script by the end. And so by the end of it, we shot the rest of it, and multiple locations, and it actually turned out to be like a really good story. We'll throw something up from that here. We're gonna have to ask Eric for the link for that, and Eric will make something that's like really good, and then he'll private it where no one can see it, and then you got to ask him for the link, and he's
like, what are you using this for?
Yeah, and then he'll be like, here's the monthly sending of the Lone Star Harry link or the SS Wayne link.
I think I got it somewhere.
Oh yeah. So then we ended up getting an award for that at the school, and at this point in time, I was kind of like riding high a little bit. I was like, I felt vindicated. I was like, okay, like, you know, this is not just like, oh, this is a hobby or whatever. It's like, there comes a certain point of just like crashing out and failing, where eventually you get some win and you're like, okay, like this is all starting to, it's all, I'm seeing where all of this was headed all this time. Little did we know that was just a tiny little bump in what the journey would, you know, turn out to be. And then so continuing to want to produce our own content, I was like, hey, let's go ride off the backs of other people's success, and let's go interview was the rock one or the rap one first?
The rock one was first.
Okay.
That's when we first got the Z-Cam.
Okay, so we first got the Z-Cam, and I was like, what are we going to shoot with this? I was like, we got this awesome 4K cinema camera. What are we going to go shoot with it? And so I was like, Eric, you know people in like the music scene. You know what's like cool in all this. So let's find like a cool venue, and let's find like a cool band. And let's interview them.
And I mean, it wasn't a bad idea. We literally said like we would like reach out to the band in a DM and be like, hey, we'll give you this free interview if you like let us interview you.
Yeah.
And so
they were down with it. And so then we met up with them, and we did the interview, and it was weird because they messaged Eric afterward and was like, hey, did you guys pay to get into the show? Which there was no way to pay to get into the show. No one stopped us. No one was checking. Also, it was like, we're not even there to watch the show, buddy. Like, we're there to interview you. And this band was so lame about how they went about this that we're like, screw you. We're not even going to post this interview. Like, we could have. It would have been good for the channel, but we're like, yeah, you're not like you're cool enough to interview, but you're not cool enough to like get away with some weirdo stuff like that. So we're like, okay, we're just not going to post the interview because like we don't really need your clout or anything. And so then we're like, okay, well, who's cooler? Who's nicer? And then our buddy Eric was like, oh, there's this rapper Gash. Like, you should go interview him. And so we're like, okay. So then we brought Eric to interview Gash. We shot it. Eric interviewed him.
We had this show.
It was called The Magnet. Right.
Where it's like we're like getting all of this, like we're like kind of the idea of the magnet is like we're like getting all of this.
Drawing people in.
Yeah.
Drawing people in.
And like kind of being a focal point for this like artistic expression and stuff like that.
And so we did one episode with Gash, and it did well. And then
once again did one episode,
and then was like, all right, we're not going to do this again. And the reason I wanted to keep doing it, but Eric was like, hey, I don't want to do this hosting thing anymore. Because Eric, you know, he's very talented. he does not love being on camera, and a lot of people don't love being on camera, and you know, so who could blame him? But so we're like, okay, well, crap, because at that point in time I was like, I feel like I don't know enough about rap or enough about the scene and stuff to interview people, which I mean, looking back now, I'm like, oh yeah, I totally could have gone and just instantly started, you know, interviewing people. It would have been fine. But at this point in time, we were still a little bit like, we're like starstruck just by like local acts. We were like, oh, this person is like a rock star. Oh man, this is like so crazy. Like, and now it's like damn, like it's just a person. They're just everybody's just a person. But so then we went heavy into the client videos, and we got this one client. It was like a motivational speaker, and this is like a really quick throwaway story. But one time we were doing this video for this client who was like a motivational speaker, and we're in their office.
In this big conference room with this big TV on it.
We're in their office, and there was like a TV that had YouTube pulled up, and I'm not going to say that it was definitively this person who searched that. It could have been somebody else who was using the conference room previously, but you know how YouTube has that predictive text? Well, it has like your history in the search bar. In the search bar history, big and bold, where me and Cason could see it.
Well, I'll say the first one, you say the second one.
Ready?
Big booty.
Twerk. And
2 separate searches.
Yeah, big booty twerk. Those are the searches. Anyway, so we're like, okay, this is client work. And so the same place where we shot that one interview, we also got hooked up with some punk rockers that are super cool. Shout out House of J, Johnny, Jeffer, and all those guys. They're amazing.
The introduction was, hey, you guys have a camera? Hey, do you guys do photography? And we're like, we can.
Yeah.
And then he was like, oh, well, come shoot my wedding. And we're like,
yeah,
cool. Very cool. Very cool to reach out to some like kids who are like just trying to like figure out what they're doing.
Anything.
Yeah.
And our Z Cam, this camera that I spent literally my life savings on, stopped working
at the wedding
right as soon as the ceremony was starting. And so that was.
So we shot on an iPhone.
Yeah, because you know, better than nothing. And we captured the ceremony. You know, I'm sure that's not what they wanted, but you know, you do what you can. And so once again, it's like we had this little win, and then we try something new, we fail, and then there's a learning curve, and then we keep. But so after that, we did a film that we spent about 3 weeks shooting. I took off work to go shoot this film with Eric. It's called SS Wayne. We're not going to talk about that too much here because
3 weeks. It was like 3 months.
We're not going to talk about that too much here because we've talked about it so much in other pieces of like content that we've done. So if you want to go check those out, check the link right here. But then I went and I started doing product videos. I started doing like corporate video at this 9-to-5 place called the Trailer Parts Outlet, and I would just do their advertising, and my whole job was to advertise trailer parts. And it was here that I got a mentor named Kiefer, who was kind of a jack of all trades guy, and he taught me a lot. Just in terms of like photo and video and editing and just like all of this stuff, and just really just being a freelancer in general. And it was here that Cason and I started to get some more work every now and then. I kind of skipped over some stuff. Oh, no. Okay. I wanted to talk about. So
this is around this time when like we both started kind of playing music together.
Right.
I started like learning guitar. Parks was still playing like mostly guitar. Well, only guitar.
Well, you're skipping a little bit ahead. There was two other client stories I wanted to tell. So before I started working for TTPO, I was working at an airport, and I told my boss, I was like, hey, do you want a commercial for your airport? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, dope. Let me shoot it for you. And then he tried to pay me. He said, how many hours did it take you to make this? And I was like, hey, I don't want to get paid by the hour. I want to get paid by the value. And he was low key, like a little bit mad, because he was like, man, I thought I was going to get away with paying this kid chump change. But also he was kind of, as a businessman, he was like, all right, this kid actually is like learning something. He is actually like figuring some stuff out. And so then I I left there. I wasn't working there anymore, and I did this video for this like DJ in Houston for this club that was on New Year's, and
it was weird because it's like almost like GBM like New Year special, because me, Eric, and then our other buddy was shooting for that punk band that we met.
So him and 2 other shooters were off at the End, which is a venue in Houston. They were shooting a punk show.
Very cool place.
And I was at this place called Club Cairo, and I was shooting their New Year's thing. And
so GBM had a like
full fleet.
Yeah.
And I shot that video, and then the guy tried to rip me off and not pay me. And then I learned like, oh, you need to put watermarks on your videos. But also I kind of thought about it this way. I was like, because he was disappointed for me, my parents were disappointed for me. They're like, man, that sucks that he didn't pay you. I think about all my business relationships in this way. I will give you the opportunity early on to show me your character. That way I can save myself thousands of dollars and hours on down the line, because trust is like the most economically.
Because it's like okay, we put a watermark on the video, cool, whatever, he pays us. Maybe he does we do another video with him, right? But like, who's to say he doesn't try to just like screw us over again, or like
for more money next time?
People who like finesse like that, they're gonna try to. They're not just gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll pay. They're gonna try to find a way to finesse you.
Right. And so the way I saw it was like, he might have got like a couple $100 out of it, but I got all of these hours back. I got realistically, I thought about it in terms of like, okay, I just saved a lot of money. I just saved a lot of time. And like, I really just don't think, I'm not this big believer in like, oh, you got to like rip people off or you got to like play hardball with everybody, or else you're going to just get like screwed over. I really do think that in the game of business, like you get what you give. So like I wasn't tripping about it too much. But it was a learning experience. It really was something to learn at that point. Anyways, so yeah, no, like Cason said, that was the next point is Cason and I started playing music together. I've been playing music for a while now. I did some of the soundtrack for my buddy's movie, and had just been making music on my own for the longest, just playing guitar. And then Cason decides he also wants to start learning. And then so we started jamming together. But it was like us playing strings together. And it was just kind of a fun thing we did originally, like in our parents' garage and stuff. And then I was like, I want to learn drums instead of guitar. And so then I picked up the drums.
And I think about that a lot. I think so like when we were playing strings together, it's like this, like in music, if it's like 2 strings, right, the guitar and the bass, they have to like kind of melodically match, right? Like you have to be in the same key. You have to like play off of each other. And I was like new enough to music where I didn't really understand like what I was playing or like what I should be playing or anything. So it's like we were both trying to kind of occupy this same space where like I was unaware of what I was doing. But like when you started kind of playing drums, it kind of both allowed us to, okay, here is like the drums and here is like the strings. Right. And it's like, it doesn't matter really what key we're playing in. Like, we don't have to be in the same key. As long as we're in time, it's like, cool.
Right. And so that was, we started playing together a lot. We started writing songs together. And we're like, I took up vlogging again. And I did this series of vlogs that I called Beyond the Flesh. And my whole idea with it was we got kind of inspired by the Houston punk scene. And we're like, man, we want to do this thing too. We also want to do the music thing. But my whole thing was at the same point in time, I was really beginning to like explore my faith in Christianity. And in Christianity, there's this whole concept of the flesh. And the flesh is that part of you that is warring against God. The part of you that is desiring something separate from God, or is desiring your own will over what God has planned for you, or what God, wills for you. And so my whole idea Beyond the Flesh was in my music and in video work, in creative work, in my partnership with my brother, all of these things are forcing me to develop, are forcing me to learn more about myself, learn more about the world. And it was this constant process of having to look at my own insufficiencies, look at my own failures, look at my own like things that I was doing to kind of like fall short. And the whole thing with Beyond the Flesh is it was almost like this looking back on myself and kind of this act of self-observation and self-documentation toward trying to actualize myself and just trying to put myself out there, put my work out there, and kind of figure out who I am. And so I called it Beyond the Flesh, and it had this really dope intro that, if you will believe it, this idea for this intro like came to me in a dream. And so I'll show that here. But that came to me in a dream. And I can say without a doubt, this was a point in my life where things at the trailer parts job were starting to go well. I was starting to feel very confident in my cinematography abilities. I was starting to get more freelance work. Me and Cason were starting to jam more, and we were just kind of like, it was just a time, I look back on it with a lot of nostalgia, because it was just like everything that had been culminating, it was like all of it started to like spiral into this thing that was just like working very well, and was keeping me very inspired and keeping me like always having fun and always like engaged with my work. And it was at this point in time that I was like, man, it is possible to do stuff that is like difficult and feels like work, but also is just so deeply meaningful and so fun that like you just feel like you have all the energy in the world. And like it makes days go by so fast, but years go by like so much slower. But anyways, like I didn't mean to like soapbox or anything, but we started doing the GBM podcast. So we're like, okay, we're going to use, we've done a podcast in the past, but let's use a podcast to promote our video marketing work. And let's kind of like play shop for a second and pretend like we're this like highly successful video company. That way it will make people think like, oh, these guys are successful. Let me throw like, oh, they can make these like cool videos. Let me like throw them some business. And we did that for a little while. And we got to interview some cool people while we did that. And it's funny because we started interviewing people from the band scene because we wanted to ask them about DIY, because DIY was just a huge part of our philosophy and all that. And in doing so, we actually had like a band reach out to us, and like every other time that we've interviewed somebody, we've been the ones going to interview. But this time somebody was coming to us and being like, hey, I really love your stuff. And even like at this point in time, people were really resonating with the stuff we were posting. They're like, I remember somebody had told me like, man, it looks like you guys are really hitting your stride. It looks like you really figured out what you want your business to be. And I was like, man, like this is so cool. And Cason made this super awesome documentary about the SS Wayne movie that we did. You can go check that out here. And that once again, that felt like a huge win, because it was like, okay, we can actually do serious pieces. We can actually do pieces that are kind of emotional or like tug at your heartstrings a little bit and are like mature and like thoughtful. And then we did some more client work. And over the course of that client work, I was like really going in deep into the cinematography, just video rabbit hole, because that's what I was doing day in and day out at this trailer job. And Cason was trying to finish up school, and we had like a string of bad clients that kind of made me and Cason like look and reassess and be like, do we want to do this thing the way we're doing it right now? And at that point in time, I remember we had a phone call where Cason said, this feels like abandoning our child. Like that's what he said. And like I'm telling you right now, to this day, even though we're here doing this podcast right now, even though like all of it has seemed to work out so far, that still, when I think about that, like it actually, like it makes my heart ache a little bit, because it really like, but it's inevitable. Like if you're setting out to do something, that is totally inevitable. Like it's inevitable that you're gonna have something that kind of makes you question it all. It's like every single movie that you've ever watched, it's like the two freaking main characters will have that moment where they're like, we're done. Da, da, da. And it's not like we were like blowing up at each other like that. Like it wasn't like,
well, it was just kind of like it was almost like a mutual agreement where it's like, it's for the best that like we don't continue on in like the state that it's in, because I think we both weren't happy with where it was headed.
Right. Well, because I felt like I needed to take it even more seriously, and it felt like, Cason wasn't there at Sam studying film. He wasn't, and he was trying to get his degree, and he was, so I kind of asked him, I was like, do you see yourself doing video production as like a job for the rest of your life? And you had said, no, not really. And so I was like, okay, like that, and we kind of just from that point on, we're like, okay, now we know. But it's funny because naturally it was like, I would get another video job. I'd be like, hey, do you want to come help me with this? And then he would come help. So it's like, it would just organically, like everything has like a homeostasis that it always naturally sort of comes back to.
Yeah.
But we skipped over something, which is that we had our first concert. So we had our first concert.
So we were gonna do it. So me, a little backstory. Me and Parks move into the same apartment, right? And we think, oh, we'll just have a house show, an apartment show. Like, there's no problem with that. Playing loud rock music in a shared housing complex. But the day that Parks starts moving his stuff in, we're like, oh, we'll jam a little bit, and are like very quickly met with opposition to our loud noise that we call music. So then we're like, dang, we probably can't have a show. We're dead in the water.
So we sent out a memo where we're like, hey, by the way, this is canceled. And then I posted it on my vlog, and sure enough, one of our buddies who has his own space saw my vlog and was like, hey, I really I'd been following Beyond the Flesh. I was excited to see where things were going. I'm so disappointed. I just finished the episode where you canceled it. You can have my space. You can use my space for your show. And so we're like,
very cool.
This is freaking
very
amazing.
Cool.
So then we did our show. It's right here. And that was great. Like, it went good. My kick went through my drum, and yeah, once again another dip. But it's like every single time you dip and then you back up. Like,
but I think at this point we had kind of realize that like
that's our superpower.
Well, yeah, that like, okay, something's gonna go wrong. So like, let's just get ready for it and anticipate it, so that like as soon as it does go wrong, because there's like a video, I think it's on my Instagram, where Parks, you can see him like call me over and like, hey, Cason, and you hear the kick drum like just like with no power. It's totally shot, and we just kind of laugh, and then we just keep playing because it's
right.
we were like, all right, we don't have a kick drum. This sucks. We can't do much. There's nothing else we can do. So let's just keep playing.
Right.
And
right.
It still was a very good show.
No, yeah, it turned out to be a good show, and there was lulls. Like, we cut out the lulls from the vlog, but it went well, and we learned from it. And then we, at that point in time, because Cason was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do like the Gore Brothers Media thing in the same capacity now. I was like, okay. So then I was like, I still need to promote my work. I still need to like get out there. So then I started my own I started working on my own content a little bit more. Started posting like some stuff, like some video how-tos or just some stuff on my YouTube channel. And then I started doing the podcast and stuff. And from there, we started jamming on campus. We started just like taking our instruments on campus and just jamming there, not waiting to get a show, not waiting to do anything like that. And it was funny because we would just pull up on campus because we wanted to jam loud, and we just didn't have a place to do that.
Yeah, that's the only place where we could.
And people would just randomly show up and start watching us.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was like, oh, cool. Like this went from being like a jam to like we gotta like put on a performance real quick. So, and one part of our style that we've always tried to sort of keep consistent on is just being able to work on the fly. Like, from the man on the street stuff, it's like you better just pull it out. Like, you better just make it work. You better just improvise something. And because I think if you can just train that muscle, then you're never going to be like left hanging out to dry. But so we were jamming on campus, and then we had our second show.
I just want to like give this little nugget. The first time we jammed on campus, one person showed up.
Right.
And he sat through the whole thing.
Right.
And the whole time he was just sit there, and he would like give us little notes like, oh, I really like that. That was cool. Or like, y'all should like at one point he was like, yeah, I can't really distinguish like the verse from the chorus. So like on the chorus part, you should really like you know, give it some energy, give it a little more zing and pep. And it was just like, I don't know, it was really cool because he sat there the whole time and like, I don't know, we definitely did not sound the best, but it's like we put on a show for this guy,
right?
And he stayed there the whole time, and then when he left, he was like, man, this is so cool, guys. You guys make me want to start a band.
Right. Which for us is, once again, is like, even if it's a small win, it's like, that was cool. And then the very next show we did, the very next practice we did, we just went out there because we wanted to be able to play loud. We didn't expect anyone to stop. And then, I'm not kidding, I was drumming, and I look up, and there's like 12 or 15 people watching us.
I remember at one point it was like, it went from, you're playing, okay, people pull up, oh, cool, people are here. And then, oh, okay, this is a show now.
Yeah.
Because people had played shows, like real shows before at that parking garage. So when people hear live music there, they don't think like, oh, it's just some
jamming.
Band playing. Yeah, it's, oh, here's music up here. Let's go up here and watch this show real quick. So it's like, they're expecting a show. You can't go, hey guys, bear with us, we're practicing. Well, I mean, you could, but then they're gonna be like,
but then you're not a showman.
Yeah, this is lame.
Okay. You're not a showman.
And the one thing that we don't want is for people to think we're lame.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Anyways, and then we did our second show. Thanks to our friend Logan. Our friend Logan hooked us up, and he was like, "Hey, you know, this place, the 19th hole. We
got our own band.
Yeah, we got our own band. We're gonna be playing a show there, and they're looking for another act. Do you guys want to play?" And so we're like, "Yeah." So then me and Cason really hunkered down. We got into this process. We're like, "All right, we're gonna take what was best from the last set that we did. We're gonna include some new stuff." And then we played a show, and like, you know, not trying to like humble brag or anything, but like, I think we killed it. Like, it was a great show. Like, it was a really good show, and people were hyped for it. We had a lot of friends like show up, and
well, I think every time it's like this process of like really just like fully devoting ourselves to this process of like practicing, perfecting every single little bit. We would just like play a song a million times over and be like, hey, this one little part, you know, 3/4 of the way through, I like it when you do this instead of this. And then we do it again, be like, no, okay, do it like this, and then we just do it again, and then be like, okay, now let's do it, you know, a different way. And it just like constantly trying to perfect this thing to where when it got to the show, it wasn't like, I hope I remember how to play the song. It was just second nature.
Right.
And I could focus on just giving a good show.
Right. And we did a little gimmick during the show where we pretended like we had this thing where I was like, we started a song, we made it sound really lame, and where I stop and I go, wait a second, Cason, that's not how you do it. All right, ready? This next song's called Beat Down. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's not how it goes, Cason. Oh, it goes like this. And then Cason goes,
oh yeah, it goes like this, and then boom,
we launched into the song, and then everyone got so hyped. What sucked was we recorded the show on my Zcam, and our buddy Eric, he was so like, he legitimately was so excited and hyped for us that he was just going nuts on the stage, and ended up in
the process the camera, the file was corrupted.
The file got corrupted because the battery got knocked out of the camera. I learned that with the Zcam, if the battery ever comes out while it's recording, that recording is toast. And I tried everything I could to try to recover that. I feel like I'm somebody who in general can Google things and kind of tweak things around and figure things out, tinker around. That video is gone forever. And but we did get the audio recording, and so you can hear that right there. But anyways, so from that point on, we slowed down on the music a bit. We're like, okay, let's just get back to having fun with the music. And we would jam some. And then I sort of moved away, you know, since getting married. And I mean, now we're pretty much caught up to the modern day of like what we've been doing. We've been prepping for a show that's coming October 19th. That's what we've been in the shed for. Other than that, I still do the trailer gig, but now I'm not so much working in the capacity of like a cinematographer there. I'm more so of like a personality there, because I've started doing these shorts where I'm like I do like a sort of like comedy character called like Will, the trailer guy, and I'm just this goofy, crazy, off the wall character. And like, here's some clips of that. And once again, that started to get some traction, because I mean, the people in our network are just like so crazy supportive of me, and like that foundation of support was able to allow me to like, you know, get more people. Because if you have a core group of people that are engaging with your stuff, then it just makes it that much easier to sort of like branch out into like other people engaging with it. And so like, I've been really lucky with that. It's been a lot of fun getting to like develop. And since then, me and my brother, we've talked about this ad nauseum. We've been doing like this publication challenge where he has to write a song every week. I got to write a newsletter every week. And at this point, we've kind of got on this roll where we're beginning to see the fruits of consistently putting in reps. And if there's anything you could take away from anything we've said today, is no matter where you're at in this process, keep going, keep experimenting.
Well, and like the thing with the thing with the song project, the thing with Sex War, the thing with the podcast, the thing with, you know, priorities, everything. It was never, and I think we've preached this a million times on like every platform we've been on, but like it's never like, okay, well, I don't have a good enough equipment, so let me not do this. You know, I don't know exactly what I'm doing, so let me not do this. It's okay, I have this idea for something I've really been wanting to do, and I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna mess up. And it's like cliche, but like really, like you should hope to fail, and like you should hope to, when I record a song, I should hope to just do terribly, and then go, okay, what worked? Okay, what didn't work? Okay, what do I need to, what equipment should I invest in? What can I do right now with my equipment right now? And like hitting these peaks and then falling into these valleys, but then like working back up to a peak. And I mean, eventually you'll hit a valley, and because you can't stay on a peak forever. But it's like those little moments of like working up to the peaks that, like, I don't know. I think that's what makes it worth it.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, that's the history of Gore Brothers Media so far. If you made it this far, go ahead and subscribe, and
leave a comment with your personal favorite GBM project.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, this has been Parks.
This has been Cason.
Peace.
And love.